How about now?
It's gone.
Now I'm curious if they can actually hear us.
Can we hear us? Is it doing the thing, guys? There's such a delay.
Yeah, I know.
26 seconds
26 seconds.
by my count right now. Dance, monkey.
Yeah, all right. They can hear us.
Fantastic.
Dope. Now we know. All right.
All right.
I wonder if that's still playing music. It is. I just turned the slider all the way down. Because I don't know what it is with that thing not starting and stopping the way that it should. I think what we need to do is put the music on a separate button so that we can start stream and start music, stop stream, right?
Okay.
Which we'll do later. So how was everybody's Thanksgiving? It's been, what, like 15 days or 10 days or something since we've done one of these?
Yeah. Today has been 2 weeks.
How you feel?
I feel okay.
Rejuvenated?
A little bit.
Yeah. It has been a good downtime.
Yeah.
And I can't fucking wait to do it again next month.
Yes. I very much enjoyed being in nature.
Yeah.
Yeah, waking up and not hearing construction and seeing a lot of concrete was really nice.
Yeah, waking up and trying to feed deers and satiate your inner princess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty neat. I like sitting by a fire too. And it was actually cold outside.
Yeah.
Shut the fuck up. It was so cool.
Yeah. I hate it here.
Same.
Every time we go to Tennessee, I come back and I'm like, I just don't want to live in Florida anymore.
I get sad every time we come back.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a little bit more sad each time too.
Well, we are taking steps to try to make that a permanent vacation. So
I know. In due time.
yeah. All right, guys. So for those of you who are new here, because I'm seeing there are people here saying that this is their first time catching a live, let me explain to you what we're going to do. We are going to be reading emails tonight. Sundays have been kind of just like a hot topic thing where we've been bullshitting because we needed a break. But we are going to read some emails tonight. They are probably going to trigger or bother people, and we are totally prepared for that.
Yes.
In the event that you would like to get our attention, we will read every super chat at the end of this. If you would like to interrupt what we are doing, you can do so with a super chat of $50 or more. So if you feel the need to like interject and throw your 2 cents in or interrupt what we're doing just to tell your fiance or your wife that you love them, $50 super chat will make this whole thing come to a screeching halt for us to read whatever's on your super chat, and then we will get back to life. So, with that being said,
Do you have any housekeeping you want to do?
we have a lot. It just dawned on me that like we recorded, we're done. Other than the Christmas episode until January.
Well, I still have episodes I need to do for the garden.
Right, but that's not stuff that everybody gets to see. So like the podcast shit that is done
Yeah.
is like we did a little bit of housekeeping that's relevant information. Like we got new schedules. And do you want to get into all that or you want to just wait and let that hit when we drop it in the podcast?
Just let it hit.
Okay. Well, cool. Love that. Guys, I found a new pair of socks, a new sock brand that I think is a rival to Darn Tough. I did. Okay. And we're both wearing them currently, and they're fucking incredible. And I'm not going to give the name just yet. I will give it in a little while so that I can post a link because they gave us an affiliate link. Nice. So I'm going to set that up right now while Peaches entertains everyone because I forgot to do it a minute ago. And there you go, Peaches.
Ooh, look, I got a text message. All right, sweet. I'm super stoked about stuff in life, guys.
$50 already.
Whoa.
From Chris Dennison. You guys are amazing. Welcome back.
Is this the same Chris that just sent out my wallet? I hope so. Can't wait for that to get here. I'm super fucking stoked for that. All right, so let me...
So things that I'm super excited about. I just placed the order for all the things necessary to create the bath line. Order is submitted. We should have that ready to go by 2024. Hopefully ready to be packaged and sent out January, February. It will be a limited run of things. I'm not going to tell everybody the scents that I'm doing, but just so you have an idea of what I'm going to be releasing, we are going to do a soap, body oil, a salt scrub, and a sugar scrub. And I'm contemplating doing something with clay. I'm not sure yet. Clay is very good for, it has antioxidants and also pulls out impurities. And she said it feels like lotion, and I kind of fuck with that texture. So we'll see. It might be added into some of the salt scrubs. And I am also working on herbalism. So I am thinking about doing like a holistic line of things. I do have to find out the legalities and whatnot of that. But I have things in the work that I'm super stoked about. Oh, and for anybody following on Patreon through the garden.
Oh, wait a minute. We just lost you. Oh, there it goes. Nope, it went to Steve. Go back to her and see if it's live.
It's not live for you either.
I know.
Dance, monkey, dance. Big shout out to Chad and Irene, my neighbors, for subscribing. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Chad and Irene.
They're awesome.
Hit hers. Bitch. There it is.
Hey. Hey,
Hotness Everdeen in the house. What about me? Is mine still blank?
You're on.
I'm on.
I like how my
Donkey Cow.
dangles move.
All right. Sorry about that. I forgot to hit the record button on her camera, and she was very blurry, and I didn't like seeing her blurry.
Yeah.
And I just broke everything, and I had to fix it real quick.
Steve's mic isn't on.
Oh, no.
That's okay.
Guys, bear with us. We've been gone.
Things
It's
have
been 2
happened.
weeks. Give them a break, guys.
Yeah. Your mic should be on now.
But as I was saying through the garden segment, I have my Black Rose episodes.
Banging.
And I unintentionally just recorded 3 hours of reading the text messages between Gypsy Rose and Nick Godejohn. Like the psychology behind that stuff, I give a lot of my opinions and the way like I put myself in people's shoes. It's a lot. Did you watch through it, Steve?
I'm editing it.
Yeah?
It's gonna be.
You already
it's
started?
gonna be banging.
What do you think of it so
Your
far?
breakdowns are awesome.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
you.
No, it's simple to follow. Like you're not.
That's awesome.
It is not one of those where you get super lost in it.
Right.
You break and
Was it easy to follow with me announcing who was sending the text messages? I didn't become redundant.
not at all.
Dope.
No. It was great.
I'm so excited about this.
Okay, so real quick, Heather just said, what? We have a sock call out now?
We do.
Yes, because I just did it while I was also affecting the cameras. We found a company called Hollow Socks.
Yes.
They make socks that are made out of alpaca
Yes.
instead of merino wool. Like,
Okay.
darn tough.
Very
Okay.
fancy.
Wow. All right.
They are antimicrobial, so they help with odor. They're moisture wicking more so than wool. You know, when wool gets wet, it
Yes.
gets heavy.
Absolutely.
Apparently, alpaca is hollow fiber. So instead of it absorbing moisture, it just stays on the surface and then wicks out. I ordered a lot
Yeah.
of socks,
He did.
and the packages came in today. I'm like, oh shit, my socks got here. And I'm gonna go as far as to say that so far in the last like 7 hours of me wearing them, I'm kind of on the
Okay.
alpaca train with my socks.
I'm gonna have to get some of those and swap out all my socks and my golf socks.
It's not
'Cause
cheap.
I wear FJs, so they're
Well,
not cheap.
yeah.
So
We now have a to be better discount.
Yeah, it's on there. Well, it's a link.
It's a
so
link.
hit
Oh.
them with the link.
It's there. All right.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Somebody just asked if we're blurry. They said y'all are blurry. Just my screen ? We were blurry, which means you're not caught up. And when you get caught up and you hear this, we shouldn't be blurry anymore. They're perfectly sharp now. Tack sharp.
Nice.
Okay. Let's do some emails, Dragon Lady.
Okay.
It's
I
so
wonder-
stupid that you have to do that.
I wonder if the person who sent me that fan, it ever crossed their mind that that would be the intended purpose,
Yeah.
or that would be my purpose. All right. Will a fuck up always be a fuck up?
No.
Next.
That's That's what I was waiting for.
All right. Hi, I hope you are well. I've got something to share and need some help understanding. Context. I am a young man of 24 whose family has been through a nasty divorce years ago when I was just a kid.
You and everyone else in the world.
It is a very common thing, isn't it?
It is. I'm not taking away from the fact that fucks certain people up, but like, same.
My father hasn't been in my life since my mother took me away back when I was about 3 years old. Tried to get in contact with him throughout my teenage years, but got nowhere until I swindled my way into getting his cell phone number. I contacted him and wanted to get to know him better. We talked back and forth in a blue moon. Once in a blue moon. I asked to meet him, and he responded that I'd meet him when I turned 18. So on the day before my 18th birthday, I waited till midnight so I could be the first to wish myself a happy birthday. On that day, I contacted him and told him that it was my birthday and that I was 18 years of age now. To which he responded that now I'm old enough to understand he wants a DNA test to prove that I'm his son. And he doesn't believe that my mother had been truthful about him being the father when I was little. I'm glad the dad waited till he was 18.
Man, he should have done that shit the day the baby was born. That needs to be mandatory.
Yeah.
It should be written into law before somebody's name hits that birth certificate. A DNA test must be done. No ifs, ands, or buts. That baby don't look like me. Well, the DNA test said you are the father.
Got a $50.
Got a 50.
From Stacy. Thank you for talking about Roth Iris for your children during the Matt interview. You have helped me, someone who was a single teen mom and has had to fight for everything, set up potential generation wealth for my family.
I love that. Did you actually already set the Roth IRA up? Is that done already, or is this something that you're currently doing? And I have a money guy that can work with you guys that is not just in my area. He does work remotely if you're in the U.S. If that's something that you guys are interested in, you have Justin's number, don't you, Steve? We can put it in the chat if that's something that you guys want. You just have to tell him that Chris from To Be Better sent you so that he says hello and sends me a nice little thank you card because it makes me feel like I'm getting something in return.
All right, so I'm going to put myself in this situation for a minute.
Okay.
Because I grew up without a father.
Well, same. I mean, not my biological.
So I reached out to my dad. Say I'm 14 years old, and he goes, talk to me when you're 18. And like, damn, bro, okay, my feelings would be hurt. Like, how dare you ignore me? Once I turned 18, then he hits me with, well, now I need a DNA test.
I definitely don't think that was handled well.
That's
I don't.
a lot to process.
At 14 years old, he could have been like, look, I'm trying to keep the peace right now, but if you can get your DNA swab and have that sent into whatever DNA thing, and I'll do the same, that would really help me out, son.
Yeah.
You could have some sort of, I mean, obviously that would be a really shitty way to do it too, but there's definitely a dialogue that could have happened there. Just be like, you're not my son until you're 18, and it can be proven you've missed out on the formative years where you could be teaching this young man how to be a man.
Yeah.
And by you doing what you did, or he did, and putting it off until he's 18, he just set an example for this young man of a way to be or not to be. That's not the answer, in my opinion.
I agree. There could have been circumstances, though, where if his mom was super vindictive and manipulative, you contact my child, I'm going to call the cops on you and make false claims.
I would not put that past a woman.
So
I know a lot of men who are not able to see their kids.
that could have been his reason. Like, you need to wait until you're 18 to talk to me.
Yep.
Well, that's a different conversation, though, because
Right,
that's
it
not
is.
what was said.
Yeah. But
Playing devil's advocate here.
certainly a hypothetical that I just brought up.
He turns 18 and da-da-da-da. He didn't have to pay all that child support.
True.
Just saying.
That's fucked up.
Yeah.
I know.
Go back to the double screen, please. All right. You guys can keep going. I can
Okay.
hear it. I'm getting annoyed with all this.
Would you do the DNA test?
Would I?
Yeah, if you were that 18-year-old.
No. No, I wouldn't.
Why?
Ooh. This is going to go against everything I've ever said on this podcast. Right? Hey, that was pretty good.
Oh yeah, for
right?
eyeballing.
Just
it.
eyeballing it.
Yeah,
Okay.
eyeballing it, yeah.
So first and foremost, I believe that fathers are fucking important, right? And some of that is like shortcomings of my own. Some of that is just the way that I see society. But I also know that at 18 years old, what is your father going to really bring to your life that you need at that point? You're going to call him when you need a little bit of money. You don't know who they are. You don't have a relationship established with them. And if you feel the need to create a relationship with him, find a mentor. You don't need that connection with somebody who didn't want that connection with you.
Right. I think there's still a lot of naivety.
Why?
Because when somebody, hypothetical, say that his relationship with his mom is not the best,
Right.
and he's always craved that father figure, hanging on to the hopes of when I turn 18, my dad's going to finally be my dad. Like, that is his saving grace through everything in his teenage years. So I think the way that, because he said he's 24, the way that the last generation and this newer generation are being raised, I think there is a massive amount of, there's lacking maturity there. There are kids now who are in 7th grade who are still having the mindset of 4th graders.
Right. I get that. But at 18 years old or 24 years old and getting the DNA test and trying to establish that relationship, what is that man going to teach you?
Everything he didn't get in his childhood.
Yeah. I see, the problem is, though, is like the character of the man.
Right.
Right? Like, sorry, your mom and I couldn't get along, get fucked until you're 18, and you can prove that you're my son. Like, that's not the kind of character that I would want to help me or answer questions or life questions, or like, hey, Dad, I'm about to buy a house and open a business, and my wife is pregnant, and I think I'm failing my family. What do I do? Well, son, you do what I did. You pack up and move to the other side of the country, and when your kid's born, be like, don't call me until you get a DNA test, and then you hang the phone up. That's not the type of leadership that I would want as a young man trying to find my way in the world.
Right.
And that speaks to the character of that man.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I meant by, what is that man going to teach that kid at 24 years old? Like,
Right.
that relationship's not going to ever really be there. I don't think it'll ever be there. They didn't establish it when he was young.
Right. I agree. I think that, we don't know the extent of things. Like we said, the woman could have been super manipulative about everything. And this is a really good guy who had his hands tied.
Yeah, could be.
So I think the mindset of the man, say that the dad is a super bad guy and he made every excuse he could to not be in this kid's life. And now that he's 18, well, get that DNA test or I'm not going to claim you as mine. That's still fucked up. There's almost like, I'm picturing like a Disney-like scenario where he has this illusion of who his dad is because he's always dreamed about what his dad would be like when he was growing up. And I think having that shattered is a very hard thing to come to terms with. And that's why he could still be honing on to what his dad could teach him.
Yeah. I don't know. I reconnected with my biological when I was in my early 30s and got to meet the man and not the nonsense that I heard growing up.
Right.
And I know the type of person my mother is, right? So I go to PA where my dad is and have a sit down with him and his new wife, and we talk and we spend a little bit of time together, and we go to dinner, and I got to meet the man and like I got to experience who he was. But trying to have a conversation or build a relationship with that man is non-existent because I don't fucking know him. So for me to sit down and have these conversations about his life and shit, like, it's cool to hear those stories. But when you start talking about my aunt so-and-so or what's going on with my sister and her kids that I've never met, like, I don't fucking care.
Right.
It's just a weird thing. And like, my dad is a Vietnam vet and he's had a hell of a fucking life. And like, some of the stories have like seriously impressed me, but I don't know you.
Right.
So, and that's the thing too. Like, I don't know. I guess maybe from my lived experiences, I have my own cognitive bias on all of this. So that's maybe where I'm speaking from and not being able to be non-biased.
Well, from my lived experience, my father and I, we don't have a super close relationship.
Right. I don't have one with my dad either.
I hear from him on birthdays and holidays, and I try my best to send photo updates of things, but we could go 6 months without saying a word to each other, and when we do, it's 2 or 3 text messages.
Yeah, I don't get that.
Yeah.
I don't. I haven't spoke to my dad in 3 years, I think. But it was always, we share a birthday.
Right.
So it would be a happy birthday, because
It was a cool thing.
it's a habitual, like, I love you too, cool, yeah, neat. Like,
Back to your point, Chris, though, character is imparted over time as you interact with your child. Okay, it's not something that's going to happen overnight. So this kid doing the DNA test turns out to be his father, comes back into his life or forced back into his life, however you want to look at that. That character building as he grows up isn't going to be there. You know what I mean?
right.
It's not it almost. Yeah, I'm same boat with him. I never met my biological. You know what I mean? As you, I've heard all the tales. I've seen the rap sheets and everything else. If he reached out tomorrow and said, hey, I want to have a relationship with you, I'm not sure that I could.
Yeah, why?
I'd say, hey, what's up? Hey, thanks for the DNA, dude.
Right.
And that's it. And that sounds cold. That sounds super callous, but that's life.
Well, yeah, because you've lived your entire life not needing that.
Right.
So now for me, it's what's the point of it all?
Right. What added value are you giving me?
Right.
Like you were saying.
Right. Yep. Was that the end of that one?
No.
Oh, okay. Because that was a whole lot of what if and.
So long story short, I cut him off and was quite hurt by all of that. So I tried again a couple of months ago to reach out to him, and he had the same mindset as before.
What did he say this time? When you're 30, get a DNA test and
Oh,
let me
no.
know you're mine.
So just in those 2 sentences, I can tell that this dude is really hurt.
Yeah.
Because that blocking, you made the decision to cut him out, and then you unblocked him to reinvite him back into your life just to cut him back out again because you didn't like what he had to say. Also, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing, expecting a different result. I doubt, it doesn't say how long it had been, but a few months ago, decided to reach out again. If it had only been 6 months since you guys had talked, what crossed your mind for you to go, yeah, he's probably changed his mind? Because it takes a massive amount of information or a life-altering event for somebody to change their opinion on something. They're not just going to wake up one morning and go, you know what, that wasn't the move. There's always not always, it could be, well, it is always something, a self-help book that gives someone the tool to recognize that was not okay. The parent disciplining a child of that's not okay.
There's always that catalyzing event.
Right.
You're right.
Before we move on, I actually have something that I would like to say too, and it's something that is important. You and I have talked at length about how men and women do not have the same bond with their kids.
Right.
Women will always have a different bond than men do. We will love our kids and we'll protect them, but it's not the same. We didn't grow that parasite in our body. Mm-hmm. The idea that you cannot have a relationship with somebody and then 30 years later you meet them and you're supposed to just love each other because you share DNA is nonsense. Mm-hmm. You can have kids and not like your fucking kids. You can meet them. They could be adopted. Like, it could be a whole scenario of things. You could be a fucking, from a clinic. You've been donated, and that's how you got to be existing, and meet your dad and just think that he's the biggest piece of shit on the planet, or he could not like you either.
Yep.
That natural, like, respect, love, and bond comes from time, like Steve said. So, like, that's why you get those kids who are 9, 10 years old that get a step parent, and, well, you're not my mom, you're not my dad.
Right.
Because they've already established that relationship with that parent, and there is an inherent love there because they've brought them to this point. So when the other parent is lacking or non-existent, it's very hard for a young brain to latch onto that. They want that love and emotion, but they don't want to have to reestablish that bond. It's a process. Just my thought. Somebody said, parasite ? Yes, it was a joke. I think that it's funny, and if you don't, I don't care. It is, by definition, a parasite, though.
It's not. A parasite is a foreign body.
Right.
But of a different species.
And it lives in you, and it feeds off you.
Right, but it has to be a different species.
Until it needs to leave you to survive. Or is that a virus? I don't know. Anyways, it was a joke. It's funny to me, and I don't care if it's not funny to anyone else. I chuckle at myself.
When I was going through my hardcore postpartum depression, those intrusive thoughts. Like I did view the children as parasites.
Yeah.
I was
That's
so
common,
depressed.
actually.
Is it?
I have read that's super common.
I was so depressed, and I was sitting 16 hours in an armchair cluster feeding.
Yeah.
Like I 100% viewed the children as parasites at one point.
Well, I'm sorry if that was offensive, but it's still funny to me.
No, I get it.
Okay.
I'm not laughing because I'm in throwing distance.
What of me?
Yeah.
Why? Why would I throw something?
You're technically closer to me than he is right now.
You're worried about me tossing things? What would I toss?
I don't know.
That takes energy.
Toss that shade.
That was good. That's about all I got, too. I have no arm strength. All right, back into the email. This time, I just couldn't let myself suffer anymore and let him go.
Wait. Hold on. Somebody just said, what would your opinion be if the kid sued the father for child support? That's common in my state, and my nephew might do it. How can a kid sue a parent for child support? Because if that's the case, you can sue both parents.
There'd have to be an advocate if they're a minor.
How would that work, though? Like, legally, you could sue your parents for all kinds of shit, but the child support goes to the other parent, not to the child. That's how it is in Florida.
Yeah, you're
You don't.
right.
That
Well,
card
at
doesn't
least
get
in
that
Florida,
visa.
yeah.
It goes to the fucking mother or the father, whoever the custodial parent is the one that is responsible for the finances.
I'm actually going to look this up.
Okay,
Yeah.
we'll come back to that.
Circle back.
All right, Miss Saki.
My lat's cramping.
Oh yeah, I've had that happen while wiping my butt. It's
That
the worst.
sucks.
It's like your body's betraying you.
All right, this time I just couldn't let myself suffer anymore and let him go. So was that the mindset the first time you blocked him? Because if it was, and you did it a second time, the third time, you are now implementing a pattern. I'd evaluate that.
Okay.
Yet it still hurts. Now I have a dilemma where my sister's husband has cheated on her. They have 3 kids together and has left her for a younger woman. Now, from what I understand, he's having a child with her.
So what? It's none of your business.
Okay. Me being traumatized by what happened to me and knowing what his and my sister's children must be going through, I am upset and have been since I found out. I am downright ready to torture him, but I just can't get myself to go as far as beating the shit out of him. This has nothing to do with you. Do not take your trauma out on anybody.
I'm going to go a step further and say that normally the people that talk like that couldn't actually beat the shit out of the person that they're threatening.
Yeah.
That's not normally how that goes.
Yeah, that's just the raw emotion
Yeah,
presenting
that's
itself
somebody
verbally.
stroking their own ego, threatening somebody. Not saying that you should go try to beat the shit out of this guy, but if you thought you actually could and you were really that angry, you would probably try.
The emailer says, reason being, it's like I know I want to, but what is the point when it won't change him?
That's factual.
Just for added context, I'm in a relationship with a woman who's been traumatized by a man like this, but that's another story. Yet now I lay here awake at 11 p.m., riled to the point where I can't sleep and I am contemplating torture, etc. That's fucking terrifying.
Yeah, it is.
I'm uncomfortable.
Well, now you know why it's in this folder.
I'm very uncomfortable right now. You know who else laid awake contemplating torture? Jeffrey Dahmer.
He also said that if you were to ever eat somebody, eat the bicep because it's the best tasting part of the body. So in the event that we're ever in a plane crash, just know that's where I'm starting.
Okay, noted, and likewise.
Wow. So I looked it up.
Oh, what did I do? Huh? Ignore me. Do your thing.
not gonna-
I'm clicking buttons.
Okay.
My apologies.
So I looked it up. An adult child cannot file a lawsuit against their parent for unpaid child support. However, there are some other ways in which an adult child may be able to sue for back payments depending on the state. One of those states is Illinois. The other is Connecticut.
Well, there you go.
That's wild.
And they have to do it before they're 19. I forgot to add that part.
Okay.
So they'll have 12 months from their 18th birthday.
Somebody said, what did I just click into? Stupidity.
A lot.
Welcome.
Welcome to Dumpster Fire Sunday.
So the email ends with, I despise this feeling because this kind of resentment and hate is not who I am. It disgusts me how angry I am with my sister's husband. And I don't know whether or not to forgive him and move on with my life supporting my sister, or if I go find him and somehow make him understand the damage he's done. I would recommend therapy.
Yes.
Yep.
That's exactly what I would do. You don't need to talk to your sister about her husband leaving her. You don't need to talk to the husband that left her. Be a support pillar for her and allow her to cry on your shoulder. You are way too emotionally invested in somebody else's life.
And not your own. So here's the scenario that you've just laid out. And let's logic brain this.
Okay.
Let's say that you are that motherfucker. And you are capable of great violence, but you are also capable of supporting a family. And you go and try to correct this grown man's behavior, fuck him up, and then go to jail. He's not going back to your sister. He's not going to be involved in those kids. The family is going to have a whole lot of fucking problems.
And now those children are more traumatized because their uncle went and beat the shit out of their dad.
Right. When you could have stepped up and, like you said, take care of your sister, which that is not your responsibility. Neither of those kids, because they're not yours and she is not your wife.
Right.
You should be worrying about you and fixing your mental health and getting through your shit. Instead of going to prison for, 15 to 20 years for premeditated whatever the fuck is going to happen because you just sent an email and now the whole world knows that this situation, and if they know that you listen to this podcast, this is now evidence. Guys, if you want to commit crimes, keep your fucking mouth shut.
Yep.
Therapy. Lots of fucking therapy.
I concur.
Start there.
Therapy.
Okay.
Next.
That is correct. Vacation did me good, guys.
This one is titled Trauma, Triggers, and Forgiveness.
Oh, they really missed the mark there. They had an opportunity to do another T. Trauma, triggers, and thoughtfulness. Or something. That they could have just kept the thing going there.
Tequila.
Hey, that fucking works.
It does.
Missed opportunity. Good job, babe. That was way better than mine. That sounds like a really bad, Saturday night, though.
Yeah.
I was going to say testosterone, and I was going to do the matrix hormone.
That would have been a good
That would have
segue,
been
too.
good, too, yeah.
All right.
Hi. I hope
Hi.
you are well. I have something to share and need some help understanding. Context. I am a young 24-year-old man. We just read this.
Did we?
What?
Is it a duplicate?
Wizards!
Wizards.
I'm cold, scared, and confused.
Ooh, Zach said trauma, triggers, and tolerance. That's good.
I
good one,
think
too.
this is a mess up, guys. I think someone copy and pasted the same email that we just read onto this one.
Someone said trauma, triggers, and tequila needs to be on a shirt.
I fucking agree.
Yep.
And we need to do a shot glass with a 45 ACP as an ice cube.
We know a guy.
We do know a guy. That's fucking good.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
Just know that's probably going to happen now. Even if it's a one of, because I would wear that.
I would wear it. Peaches just side-eyed me. That's Zach.
Help.
I need somebody.
I need an adult.
Oh, man.
Okay, so we're going to move on.
Yep, next.
Communication tips about finances.
Okay.
Good morning.
I like this one. It's evening.
It is evening. Chris and Peaches.
Slackers. You should know better. How dare you not know what time we're to read this shit? Greetings and salutations. This is the correct way.
Yes. Can we watch that tonight?
I will watch Demolition Man every
Ooh,
day.
I want to get stupid medicated.
He doesn't know how to use the three
Hell
sheets.
yeah. That's such a good movie. First off, I just want to say thank you for the content that you put out. I know it's not only helped me, but it will also continue to help many more as your channel grows. This is the type of stuff that we need to see in this day and age. Healthy relationships are a lost art, and you guys are forerunners in bringing it back. I was checking to see if Zach had said anything else about fixing that.
He did. He just texted me and said that he'll get it fixed while we do this one.
Fantastic. Thank you, brother. I just
Can
wanted
we,
to...
wait. Can we just take a minute to appreciate Zach?
Oh,
That's so
absolutely.
great. Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
He's a really good dude.
He's one, like I tried to like shout him out on TikTok to get people to go follow him.
I always repost his shit.
And I think because I used a cuss word in the description of the video, it's shadow banned. It's only got like 3,000 views on it, which makes no sense at 1.2 million followers.
Right.
But he is somebody that truly has other people's best interest at heart, and that is a very rare thing.
Yeah.
Okay, we can get back to the email now. Just wanted to say hello, thank you, Zach. You rock.
I just wanted to touch base on how to communicate about finances. I know it's a tuppy. I messed that up because I felt a little bit of indigestion and I thought I was going to burp. I really can't multitask, guys.
Oh shit, Marco. Alfredo! Okay, so story time. Marco the Pizza Man,
I'm fucking funny.
whose content will be live on our Patreon Friday. No, I think it already went. I think his episode goes live this week.
I think it does, yeah.
Anyways, it's coming. Alfredo. And we made a joke in that podcast, and the other night, Peaches and I are having sexy time, and fucking Marco the Pizza Man's obtrusive thoughts hit her head.
I start giggling.
And in the middle of the night, she starts giggling, and I'm like, what is so funny? And she looks me dead in my face and yells, Alfredo.
What? It happened?
It happened, dude.
Nice.
And there was like, 25, 30 minutes of laughter, not being able to breathe in the middle of sexy time because she fucking trolled me. So welcome to our bedroom, Marco.
Oh, God.
Can we also just take a moment to say how blessed you are to have me?
I mean, I definitely did. I actually put that on the account.
You put that on the account? What do
I
you
did.
mean?
It's on the life account.
You talked about it on the life account?
I talked about how blessed I am to have you.
Oh.
And I actually
Yeah, you
corrected
did.
somebody because they said I was lucky. I'm not lucky. I've done a lot of fucking work. I'm blessed that God put you in my life at the time that I was ready to receive you. Because had he put you any time prior to this, I would not have been the man necessary to retain you as a woman. Period. Full stop.
Yeah.
So.
I know it's a touchy subject for many of us, and I just need some advice. I hope these emails are anonymous. They are. I have absolutely no idea who you are. I've been married to my husband now for 2 years, and we are expecting our first child. Before I got pregnant, I was the type that wouldn't rely on anyone but myself to get things that I wanted in life. I've been working full-time for the past decade and pride myself on being an independent woman. You can't be independent and also be a teammate.
No.
It's one or the other. We've been trying to get pregnant for just over a year when things at my job were getting rocky. My boss was a major asshole towards me and pushed me far enough to put my 2-week notice in. My husband and I talked about it many times, and he convinced me to quit. He said he was tired of seeing me come home crying all the time, and since we were trying to get pregnant anyway, that he would just take care of me. Side note, this was the first good-paying job I've had in a long time, $20 an hour, and I had gotten into some troubles with a DUI and various charges due to addiction, so it was very hard for me to land a job outside of fast food or entry-level jobs.
That's an excuse.
Elaborate.
Oh, man. That's a cop-out.
Yeah.
That is an excuse because I was able to not only make very good money while being on probation for a violent felony. I have no high school education. I have no GED, and I have been able to make my way in life by knowing my worth and going for the things that I want. I think that people who have that mentality of, well, I don't have a high school diploma, I shouldn't even bother applying, or I have these charges, therefore no one's going to hire me. That is a learned behavior that is taught to us by society because it's easier to keep us dependent on the system than it is to tell somebody that if you want financial freedom, to get the fuck up and go get it. So I do believe that that's an excuse. And like, I was guilty of it for a while until I met somebody who did 30 fucking years and is a multimillionaire. And I was like, what happened? He's like, I got out and knew I didn't want to go to jail again. I'm like, okay, that makes sense. And I was like, so what'd you do? And he's like, I fucking went to day labor and got a job. And when they finally put me on a payroll, I proved to the company how fucking valuable I was. And now dude owns the company. Like, it's just, well, he owns a company that's similar to what he was doing, but he had to learn the ropes of it.
Right.
You can do that shit. Is it easy? No, it's not. You're going to have to work harder than most, but it's doable. And I don't think that people should sell themselves short. You blocking people?
Yeah. Those people, go check out my Instagram.
Oh.
No, thank you. Uninterested. This is not Craigslist. After leaving that job, it was a huge adjustment for me to not work. I had a few $1,000s racked up on my credit cards and wanted to get them paid off before the baby gets here. I ended up getting a part-time job, $12 an hour, to try and save up and get stuff paid off. Okay, so you quit your first job making $20 an hour because the stress, not because you wanted to be the stay-at-home. Okay.
The stay-at-home was offered because she was coming home crying.
Right, okay.
I also had an intrusive thought there, and I wasn't going to say anything, but since it just got brought back up, I'm going to. Because fuck it, I'm feeling kind of feisty, and
I didn't bring enough coffee for this shit.
people, okay, I can't say people, because there are times that people are just mean to people to be mean to people.
Right.
But there's a good possibility that boss just didn't like her for some reason. And sometimes we need to work on being more likable people.
I agree with that.
But I'm wondering if there could have been a way for her to sit down with that person and have an open, honest communication as to what she did wrong.
Yeah, bro, why the fuck do you hate me?
And what could she have done to have changed his overall outlook of who she was as a person to change that? Or if he was just one of those people who is genuinely a fuckface, where she could have been like, hey, I notice you treat me a little bit differently than everyone else. I don't really appreciate it. I would like to try to resolve what's going on so that we can avoid these things in the future. Because most of the time, people that are in those bullying mindsets don't do well with that. And once they've been called on their shit, they stop.
Yeah.
So
I'm also wondering, was there, of course, there was not a discussion about finances. That's why they emailed in.
okay.
Okay, never mind. I'm about to say, was there not a plan of how we're going to pay off the credit card since you're no longer working? But it's literally titled. I stopped my spending habits to try and get ahead, but it seems like I wasn't getting anywhere. It was at this time when my husband finally opened up about his side of the finances.
Whoa.
What? Y'all are married with a baby on the way and you didn't talk about your finances at all? Finances were a discussion before we even moved in together.
Yeah, that's like early dating phase. Like once we've established that we're going to try to make this work, what's your credit score?
Right. What kind of debt are you in?
Right. If we make a run at this and you move in, is this going to affect my
Me.
financial status? Right.
Like, I got goals and aspirations and plans. Oh my gosh. Okay. I need to take a hit before we continue on this one, guys. Everybody take a moment.
Somebody asked earlier why you fan that away. And the answer to that is because she's live on TikTok. And every time she vapes on TikTok, somebody reports her account. So she has to hide it, which makes no sense because you can show your butthole on TikTok, but you can't vape on TikTok.
I have heard trans women talk about their medical procedures in depth
Yeah.
on TikTok, but I can't.
You can't vape.
That's crazy. I love how much my husband loves me too.
Chat's going wild with Job Corps. I totally forgot that was a thing.
Oh yeah, that is. A
I,
thing.
I actually know somebody who did that when I was when I was a teenager. He went to school to learn carpentry, and he was also somebody who he actually had to go get a GED because in order to go to Job Corps you actually had to get some sort of equivalent.
Yeah.
But he ended up becoming a carpenter and ended up moving away and last I heard he's building very high end homes, not cookie cutter shit, but
Yeah.
yeah.
There was another lady in here I wanted to bring up because you had made that story, and I'm trying to find it again. But she worked entry level 9 years.
Yep,
in
and
the
then now
job.
she owns the company.
Now
I
she
saw
owns
that.
it. You saw that?
I saw that.
Oh man.
That's I know I'm very eager to see what you saw over there because your face just fucking gave away all of it.
I felt it.
But I do want to point out that your perception is your reality.
Correct.
And if you believe that you can't, you fucking right, bro.
Right.
You can't.
Yep.
So,
I correct the kids. They say I can't. We don't say that.
yeah. You know what I can't means?
You won't.
You don't want to.
Are we ready?
I always.
Okay. I'm not. Pardon me. Excuse me. How most of his credit cards were maxed out, and after paying off our minimums, only had about $150 for the month, not including food.
Wow. So they on that ramen diet. That styrofoam ramen diet that you have to put in the microwave or boil water and set a book on top of that shit to
Yeah.
properly cook it.
I actually
Know
really
that
like
life.
that stuff.
I do too.
Yep.
You
Crunched
wanna
up
do that for
cheese
dinner?
puffs and some beef jerky in there, and you got yourself some prison stew. I'm gonna have to make you some prison food one night.
Hell
Oh
yeah!
my God, that needs to be a TikTok.
No, the fuck it doesn't.
Can we light candles and stuff?
No, we're not lighting candles. I mean if you want a romantic dinner, babe, I'll cook for you. We know that I can cook. I just
I was
that's your
fully
thing.
prepared to have a romantic night with prison food. Like
Yeah?
I'm here for it.
We'll have to do. We'll
You're gonna
have
show me a whole new world, baby. Let's go.
I picture candles, and you're over there with the chicharroons and the banging the ramen out, putting it in a hot water in a bag. Wow.
Yo.
What?
Des Clan said I was scared to start my business. Now I'm 6 strong with myself and 4 other guys and my old lady as a secretary.
That's amazing.
Yep.
dude.
Yep. We had the last live chat that we had. He's fucking getting it.
That's dope.
Yep.
Boop. Boop. Okay. As you can imagine, this was a huge shock for me, especially since about 8 to 12 months ago, we just took out a consolidation loan for $22,000 to pay off our cards.
Oh, I hate that. I hate that. Don't do that.
The limit on just one of his cards is $17,000, and we were about $500 shy of maxing it out.
The only reason that you should ever take a debt consolidation loan is if you're going to cancel all of your shit. Because when you get that debt consolidation loan and you pay all your shit off and an emergency happens and you've got those cards, you're going to use those cards and you're still going to owe that debt consolidation. And by the time it's done, you are going to own double or triple. And some of those debt consolidation places have a stipulation in there that if you violate the agreement, which would be using your credit cards before it's done, they can actually increase your interest rates. Read the fine print on those things. That shit can be nasty. It's a hustle. Let me loan you some money to pay your bills. Oh, you're at a 29% interest? Don't worry, we'll give it to you at 15. Why?
It's just a loan shark in a business
That's
suit.
all it is. Yep.
Back into the email, he has about 5 cards that eventually need to get paid off. After he opened up about how bad it really was, we started to try and face it head on. Completely stopped eating out, spending on unnecessary things, etc.
Good.
Oh yeah.
I asked how it had gotten this bad, and he just said it was the little purchases that we don't account for that just add up over time.
I don't believe that.
I don't believe that either. Do you have $1,000 worth of subscriptions coming out every single month? They just took out a $22,000 consolidation loan 12 months ago. One of his cards was $17,000 maxed out. If you are back up to that $17,000 maxed out, the little things that you're forgetting about, excuse.
There's more to that.
Yeah. Yep. The subscription services can get out of control, right? I believe that. So much so that I was having a conversation with Sean in the gym the other morning, and he's still being charged for both of his gym memberships. We've had our gym for a year and a half. So for a year and a half, he's been paying $100 a month to different gyms. He just doesn't look at it.
Wow.
He's financially comfortable, so it's not a concern for him.
Right.
But if that's the case, imagine all the other streaming services or things that he set up on autopay, either through Google Play or his phone. Like, if you guys, I know there are apps, and I'm not familiar with all of them, but I know that there are apps that you can log into and log your bank account information in, and it will track everything that's taking monthly debits from. And if you are worried about your finances, that is something that you should fucking look into, because you'd be surprised how fast that one small thing could overdraft your fucking bank account. And like, do you remember when Bank of America got sued?
Yeah, I was one of the members at the time.
So was I.
Yeah.
I closed my account with them. This was in the 90s, but they would wait until there was a backlog of checks and somebody would write the rent check, and then the rent check would go through and drain the bank account after people expecting that to be their right amount. And after the rent check came through, they'd hit them with all their other things.
Yeah, it was called ACH debit stacking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they would hit them with the first NSF fee, which would overdraft their account. So everything that came through after that is an NSF.
And they would pay it out too, which is even nuttier.
Yeah. Yep. And it costing people hundreds and hundreds of dollars. And when you're broke, those hundreds of dollars is a fucking problem.
Your groceries.
Yep.
This is when I started to fall into a depression. I kept wishing I was working back at my old job so I can help get shit paid off, especially before the baby gets here. We could barely even afford to get prepared for this baby. Pretty much relying on the people going to my baby shower to help us get everything that we need. I went as far as to ask my old job if they would take me back for a few months, and they said no. I'm trying not to freak out, only because I know how long it's going to take for us to get back to where we are comfortable again. He seems to just brush it under the rug and ignore his feelings about the whole situation. He keeps saying, I know it sucks, but there's not much that we can do about it now.
I mean, there's a lot you can do about it.
There is certainly a lot that can be done about it.
That's also an excuse.
It is.
What is wrong with people's mentalities?
I don't know. This situation sucks. I just recognize this phone isn't plugged in. I need to pick up the charger.
So let's think about that for a minute. It's done. It doesn't matter now. What can we do about it? You can do a fucking lot. You can start by getting rid of your subscription services. You can go to a different cell phone provider. You know, people have AT&T, T-Mobile, or Verizon that are paying $50 to $70 a line because they haven't gone back in and renegotiated at a lower price. You can go in, and if you've got more than one line, it's $35 a line. Or you can look into one of these off-brand fucking cell phones that are $15 a month.
That are still T-Mobile, Verizon,
It's
or AT&T.
it fucking is, and it's owned by the big three companies.
Yep. You can bid out your car insurance premiums every year.
You should
and
be
get a
doing that
lower
anyways.
rate. Yep, you're right. Everything. You can negotiate. Just because they're a big company doesn't mean you can't.
Yep. Everybody, you see Danielle Janney in the chat?
Yeah.
That's my adopted mom, everybody.
Hey,
Everybody
mama.
say hello to Danielle.
Mama.
All right.
Back into it?
Back into it.
Alrighty. I finally had enough and started looking for jobs, even though I'm 7 months pregnant. I'm going to be honest with you. A company is not going to hire you when you're 2 to 3 months out from giving birth.
Nope.
There are a lot of companies that do like 90-day probations where they're going to monitor to make sure you're even going to be worth bringing on board full time. To go work for 2 months and then go on maternity leave, that could be a big problem for employers. This pregnancy has been super hard on my body, constant morning sickness, and just straight up feeling like shit all the time. I feel terrible because anywhere I go, I'm only going there for a couple of months and then have to leave. Yep. I'm
curious as to why the job wouldn't take her back. Right? And here's my thought process, and I could be wrong. She didn't say what the job was.
Right.
But if I had somebody that worked for me and they were good at their job and they left on decent terms and they are already trained, they know what they're doing, and they just need a little bit of extra income, and they're like, hey, is there any extra work I can do for just a couple weeks so I get caught up on my bills? I'm going to put them to work. Because as a business owner, that's somebody I don't have to train. I've already got all their information. Putting them back to work is like, a 15-minute process. They can come in, pick up where they left off, and just do their thing. And then when they're not ready to work anymore, they can give a notice and leave. Right? Like, you leave on good terms. Most of the time, employers will bring you back if you're a good employee. And this is why you don't burn in bridges with employers, because eventually you may need that reference, or you may need that leg up. Like, hey, I heard you're hiring, and the job now pays $28 an hour instead of $20. I would be willing to apply for that job. Do you think that, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I think that's important, that you try to maintain those relationships on a positive way, regardless of her shift manager being a dick. Like, what do you...
Somebody said, I believe that's actually illegal not to hire someone because they're pregnant.
You can't make that the reason. You
Right.
can't state that verbally,
Right.
but we all know it happened.
Yeah.
Of course it does.
Yeah.
That's the beauty of a right to work state, though.
Right. They don't have to hire you for any reason.
Right. I don't like your blue shirt.
Yeah.
No. Right to work state, you don't even have to give a reason as to why you're letting someone go. Hey, you're no longer needed.
Services are no longer required.
Yep.
See ya. Happened to me once.
My body hurts. Back into the email. That is when I found gig jobs like DoorDash and Instacart.
DoorDash is so fucking underrated, especially in a big city.
It has opened up this whole new side of income that I never thought about. I started working these full time and I'm feeling good about finally making money again. I am planning out which cards to pay off and just trying to get us back on track in general. Well, since being in a depressed state for so long, I had gotten really out of shape. So the first week doing all this heavy lifting threw my back into a spasm. It's been hard for me to even get out of bed on my own, so I stopped being able to work the side gigs. I'm confused. So the first week in doing all of this, you threw your back out and you couldn't do it? Does that make sense to you?
No, it doesn't.
Okay.
Because if you're doing DoorDash, you're carrying food to and from your car.
Well, she said she's also doing Instacart. So if she's listing like 24 packs of water and shit.
Yeah, I can understand. Look, if you got like a herniated disc or you broke your back, I could get that. I live with back pain.
Right.
I have foraminal stenosis. My fucking spine is degenerating. And I still work out and I ride dirt bikes and I live my life regardless of my pain because I don't want to be debilitated. And I don't want to be dependent on other people to take care of me. I don't know this woman's pain levels. I don't know her existence. I don't know if she needs to go to a chiropractor, get an MRI, or what's going on with her back. So I'm not diagnosing that or saying what she should or shouldn't do.
Yeah.
But if it hurts to lift heavy things, don't lift heavy things. You can still DoorDash and pick the jobs that you can do. You can DoorDash for liquor stores and DoorDash for Taco Bell and all the small things that all you got to do is walk to and from your car. But with the same conversation, what does that say about our health?
Right.
That you hurt yourself moving groceries.
Is she still pregnant doing all this?
She's 7 months pregnant. Yeah. So she's pregnant
So
and
she
she's
should have
overweight.
been doing
She
that
shouldn't have been
anyways.
doing it anyway.
I also am curious if she's a signer on his credit cards. And if not, why is she paying those off? Why is she the one working to pay those off? Why the fuck isn't he getting a second job?
That's what he should be doing.
It's exact. He's the motherfucker should be the one door dashing.
If I were the husband, I would feel like a failure as a man knowing that my 7-month pregnant wife has to go back to work to pay off my credit cards.
Yep. What was that movie where they showed the people's true identities in the mirror, and they were like the voodoo? Was it Skeleton Key, where they put the blankets over the mirror because when the people walked by, you could see the true them in the
Yeah,
mirrors?
it's with Nicole Kidman.
I'm willing to bet this motherfucker's house has got blankets over it because he doesn't want to see him himself.
God.
I definitely bet he avoided looking at himself. The
I
breaking... Oh, sorry.
No, I said I would.
Yeah. The breaking point was last night when my husband came home from one of his meetings. I could tell that he had been drinking. So we didn't cut unnecessary spending.
Not at all.
I have been in recovery for alcohol and drugs for well over 5 years now. He knows where I stand on it, but I don't think he understands how hard it is for me. I had confronted him asking if he had bought drinks, and he said that he got one for himself and that our neighbors got him one. This is where the advice part comes in. I don't know how to talk to him about this without one of us getting defensive. Seems like tension always runs high when finances are the topic of discussion. I want him to understand how much I have sacrificed and how I am literally breaking my back to try and get us in a good spot. And it's these small little purchases that got us into this in the first place, especially when it's something that I absolutely do not agree with. Sorry for the novel. I just hope you have some advice on how I can communicate this with him without me crying or him getting defensive.
Okay. Are you ready for this one?
Yes.
Because here's a bigger question.
Okay.
You are a recovered addict, right? Which means you're still a fucking addict.
Right.
You are in recovery 5 years later, and your man that is not willing to get a second job to support you to help to pay the debt is allowing you at 7 months pregnant to go work a job that has now hurt you, which could have hurt the baby because you shouldn't be lifting that shit like that, right? Being out of shape the way that you are, obviously, because you hurt your fucking body. And he's now putting your sobriety at risk. Do you really think that this is the type of man that needs to be in the home to help you raise a child? And if he does help you raise a child, what do you think that's going to do to the longevity of your family? Mm-hmm. Where is the sacrifice that a man is supposed to make to take care of his?
I'm processing a lot, and as of right now, I got nothing. Nothing that would help the situation. There were so many problems along the way. You guys haven't discussed your finances in the 2 years of your marriage.
Right.
Terrifying to me. Terrified of what this child's going to be born into. How to approach this subject. I called my mom. I'm going to go away for a week. I am going to figure out what I want and if this is something that I think is sustainable. And I need you to think about things and figure out what we should do as a whole or what you can do on your own. And then from that point, we'll carry on the discussion from there, but know that I am considering that this might not be a thing.
I hate to say that I actually agree because I don't think divorce should be on the table if you're married, but I also understand that that is a necessity. So, this situation comes down to there's an overall lack of respect for each other.
Right.
And you can't make someone respect you, right? Or there's this selfishness there and not a selflessness there where she's trying to get everything on top and he doesn't give a shit. So I think the conversation needs to be had that your future matters, your plans matter, and what your guys are doing right now is not working. And there's about to be another mouth to feed. Mm-hmm. And you guys are struggling financially now. Wait until that fucking baby's born. Wait until the baby's born. Wait until the baby's born and you door dashing or him door dashing and working a job makes more money than necessary to get any type of aid, including WIC. And you have to spend fucking $18 per formula or whatever the fuck it costs now for formula. That shit, kids get expensive. Babies are fucking expensive. And if you're not financially stable, you shouldn't be breeding. Like, you're going to fuck yourself because everything is going to change.
You're not just going to fuck yourself. That child is going to feel the rain of everything happening.
Right. And there's nothing that makes somebody stress like money.
It's like oxygen. You ain't living unless you got it.
Yeah. I feel bad for this chick because she's in a very spot with somebody who truly doesn't give a shit. And the more she does, the less he will reciprocate because that's the mindset that he has. Well, it's done. What are we going to do? There's nothing we can do about it. I mean, that stint said everything. He's not willing to communicate it. It's the end all thing for him. He's defeated or whatever the case may be, but he just quit. Like, he just told you he quits. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Email was corrected. You want to get into it?
Sure.
So the first one that I read that was labeled "Will a fuck up always be a fuck up" is actually the title of this email. So the other email was "Triggers, Traumas, and Tequila."
Okay. Somebody before we move on said, agree, Chris, divorce should be off the table, but if you have an additional child, instead of a partner, what else do you do? Well, that's the conversation at hand. I don't see him as an additional child. You can't say that because he's providing for himself. He's just not making enough money to like grow. I also think that you guys, when women, oh man, you guys are going to hate me for this one, and I don't give a shit. When women go right to the, I have a child instead of a husband, that tells me that you're mothering your old man.
Yeah.
It's telling me that you don't know how to communicate with him and you are putting him below you and you think that you're fucking superior. I guarantee you that the problems that you're having in your marriage is not solely on the man. It's fucking not. If that was the case, lesbian divorce rate would be fucking 0 because men aren't the problem. It's not the case. So stop doing that. If a man is being a child and he's complaining and crying and whining and needs to be spanked and stood in the fucking corner, that's a different scenario than a man who doesn't want to work, doesn't want to fucking go above and beyond, doesn't give a shit about you, doesn't give a shit about your kids. That's not being a child. So let's correct our verbiage. You have a bitch. There's a difference. That childish thing is a very different thing for me. Just like men need to stop saying she's mothering me, because if she's mothering you, it's because you're not fucking acting like a man. Think about that. That tells us everything that we need to know about who you are by the way that you speak. Your conversations need to be thought out, right? Write it down. Get a fucking legal notepad, the big ones, and start writing everything that you think you need to lay out and create a rough draft. Don't give it to them. This is your first pass. Get an editor like Heather, right? This is what I want to say. Make this look better. And then read, if you're lucky enough to have a Heather. Not everybody has a Heather. We have a Heather.
Big shout out. Heather.
Yeah, get
Thank
fucked
you
if you
so
don't have a
much.
Heather.
Thank you so much this week.
She really has. But do your rough draft, right? Read it. Stew on it for a few days and go, okay, this is probably not a good way to word this. Get a thesaurus. Use your dictionary on Google if you have to. Start finding ways to articulate yourself in a way that doesn't make you sound like a fuckface to your person. Find ways to make it about you and what you need so that you can give the request of, I need help, and give them the opportunity to try to help you versus going, you don't ever, you always, you, because nobody wants to fucking help somebody that hates them. And when you always shit on a motherfucker, they think you hate them.
Yeah.
So read that rough draft and then create a second, third copy. And when you've got your third copy, if you have someone you love that is a non-biased person that's not going to shit on your relationship, go read this and tell me what you think of it. I don't want your opinion. I need to know if it's well written. Does my point come across? Do I sound like a cunt? I use that word a lot in real life, guys. It's one of my favorite words. I apologize if I just triggered everyone. It's the first time that slipped out on a live stream.
It is, yeah.
Well, I'm sweating now. I went from calm, cool, collected to I can't believe I just did that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. That was fun. Well, now that we broke that ice, this is the first fart in front of our relationship, ladies and gentlemen. So we are officially together. The first kiss is not important. It's the first fart. And now we know the second big boulder is the first C word. And I just dropped the see you next Tuesday. So you're welcome. Everyone enjoy your evening. And I'm here all week.
And here it starts.
I hope that doesn't get me banned on TikTok.
It might get us kicked off YouTube. I mean, you've been kicked off for much, much worse. Yep. So that was fun. Can
Back
we move on,
into the
please?
email.
Back into the email.
Hello. I absolutely love you guys on TikTok. Tells me everything I need to know. They only watch us on TikTok.
Yeah.
Y'all know absolutely nothing about us and what we stand for by watching 15 to 1 minute clips on TikTok.
Right. Yeah, you are missing a whole lot of the conversation.
Yes. I admire the relationship you have, and hopefully I can find something like that one day. To get right into it, my fiance, 35, and I, 30, have known each other for a year and have spoke on and off. Have known each other for a year? Okay. We started dating in January of this year, got engaged a few months later, and everything was great for about 3 months. He was, and I know he can be at times, the most amazing man in the world. He was a gentleman, opening doors for me, asking how I'm doing, bringing me flowers, and always making me feel loved and special.
Was. Okay.
I'm not surprised. The obsession phase lasts for 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
So.
And they're a year?
So they started dating in January, got engaged a few months later, so let's say April. And then for that 3 months of them, like the 3 months after they got engaged, it was fantastic, and now everything was.
Okay. But it was a year. Like, they've known each other for a year. Isn't that what it said?
We have known each other for a year and have spoke on and off.
Okay.
But it says they met in January.
Right.
Oh, no, they started dating in January.
Okay.
Ignore me. After a few months in a relationship, because he didn't make me aware, because it was too scared. Because he didn't make me aware because it was too scared, okay? He admitted that he has an addiction problem, drinking and redacted drug. I myself have never done drugs. I drink on occasion, and I work in the medical field, so this took me aback when I found out, so I became more aware of my surroundings when alcohol and parties were involved. We would have our little arguments about drinking, which wasn't really bad until later on. If you guys are already having arguments about drinking with somebody, they're probably not the person for you. If you want somebody who is sober, you need to date somebody who is sober. If you want to be with somebody who has 1 or 2 drinks a week, you need to find somebody who has 1 or 2 drinks a week.
Yep.
He's not an angry drunk. He's just insecure and a party animal, but then it all went wrong. I'm having a hard time. We celebrated our engagement with all 12 of his best friends and all 12 of my best friends in our family. Y'all have 12 best friends?
Yeah, I was just thinking that. I don't even think I know 24 people in real life.
No.
Like, not that I would want to socialize with outside of like a, hey, how you doing? Okay, goodbye.
I text 4 people, 5 including my husband.
Right, but how many of them are real life people? Like
All of them.
within an hour of us.
4 of them including
Okay,
you.
okay.
I lied. 3 of them including you. My sister's out of state.
Right.
We celebrated our engagement with all 12 of his best friends and all 12 of my best friends in our family. He absolutely got so hammered and treated me like I did not matter.
What's the saying? A drunk mind speaks a sober heart.
On the night, like y'all are celebrating your engagement and he's treating you like you don't matter. I'm just going to give that back to you. Let's reevaluate this situation. Y'all need to learn to stand up for yourselves because nobody's going to do that for you. I went up to the bar with one of my girlfriends so my girlfriend could spin the wheel that was at the bar. Oh, it's downtown Orlando. For some reason, he thought that I was flirting with the bartender and accused me of flirting, which I was not. A little back history, his ex-wife and him got divorced because she cheated on him, so he's very insecure about cheating. You didn't cheat, though. It's fucked up to charge somebody for somebody else's sin.
I say that shit all the time.
He's told me 1,000 times that he knows that I'm not like that, and he knows that I would never do that to him, and I let him look through my phone anytime he wants because I have nothing to hide. And every time he does, he apologizes because he knows I'm not that type of person, but he just gets his head, he says. He gets into his head, he says.
Bullshit. So what you're saying is you are engaged to a man who has a drinking problem, doesn't respect you, doesn't trust you, and has not done the work to get rid of the baggage from his previous relationship, and you want to spend the rest of your life with him.
She's also enabling his problematic behaviors. At some point, you have to say, no, I'm not doing this anymore. Either you trust me or you don't.
Yep.
Yeah.
Would you want to live in, okay, real shit. Everyone that's listening to us or watching us right now, would you want to live in a situation where you are always under a microscope? And if you don't know what I mean, imagine being audited, right? Because that's a fear for almost every American, to have that type of scrutiny into your life. And if you don't want to live that way, do not be with somebody who has trust issues.
Yep.
Because you're going to live your entire fucking life under a microscope.
Yep.
You guys need to really work on who you are as a person before you bring your bullshit into somebody else's fucking life.
Yeah. So back to the story. He got so hammered. He didn't treat me well at all. He completely ignored me, accused me of flirting, and just told me to do me. And what set it off was when he said, why don't you just fuck the bartender and I'll just bring someone else home and fuck them. I'd be packing my bags that night.
Yeah. Yeah, this is not marriage material.
Blow you a little kiss as I'm leaving out the door.
Best part of me is the backside walking out the door. See ya.
That's childish of him to say. It's childish. It's games. That's not a man. What are you thinking?
I'm thinking that on a long enough timeline, everyone shows you who they are.
Right.
Right? You can only wear that mask for so fucking long until you have to lift that mask up and itch your face. And when you itch your face, people are going to see who you are. She fucking saw who he was. Regardless of whether or not he was drunk, that's a bullshit excuse.
Right.
And you hear it every time you go to the bar. Every time there's a fight, don't hit him, he's drunk.
Right.
Oh boy,
No.
should have fucking checked himself.
Knock his ass out.
Right. Lessons need to be had.
Play stupid games, win stupid prizes.
Right. This whole situation is he's got, and if he has a drinking problem or if this is a regular occurrence for him, every single time he goes to have a drink, this is going to be a relived experience.
Yep.
Yep.
And you are still there. Okay, so what happens once he lays his hands on you once while drunk and you forgive him for it? And then the aggression comes out in a non-drunk mindset because he knows that you will forgive him. 4 or 5 years down the line, you're now being abused on a regular basis and you're telling your friends that you fell downstairs.
Yep.
Because you saw the issue before you married the motherfucker
Yep.
and didn't have the wherewithal to go, wait a minute. Maybe this is not the fucking move.
The self-esteem, the self-worth.
If I hear Buddy loves me one more time. Yeah. Oof.
What?
You never heard that?
What?
When, black eye, anything like
Yeah,
that.
Buddy loves
Buddy
me.
loves me.
Oh,
The
but he
excuse,
loves
yeah,
me.
that. Yeah.
I was hearing buddy.
Oh, no, sorry.
Buddy.
Hey, bud. But wait, there's more.
To be able to look over everything like that, that is such a broken human being.
It is.
Yeah.
It
Devastating.
absolutely is.
Back into the email, I looked him dead in the face and just walked away. I went to the bathroom to wipe my tears, and when I got out, he was kissing one of my bridesmaids' hands over and over. Oh, he was kissing one of my bridesmaids' hands over and over.
And she was allowing it.
And she was
Wait,
allowing
wait.
it.
She said bridesmaid. This is an engagement party. So what's really happening here? Is this a bullshit email that you're sending in just to try to get us to respond to it?
Right.
Because you don't have bridesmaids at a fucking engagement.
I mean,
Yeah, it doesn't work that way.
Right.
There's premeditation there.
you think this is fibbing?
I do. And if not, I think that there's a lot more to the story and what's going on, or maybe this was going to be her bridesmaid.
Yeah.
But if that's the case, this chick allowed it to happen.
Yep.
Yeah, your friend allowed your fiance to be all over her like
Yeah.
that.
If a man ever tried to kiss your hand and you didn't backhand him to the point of like a busted lip, you and I would have fucking problems.
Oh no, I'm crushing his testicles.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was shocked. I approached him again and told her she could go because I could tell she was visibly uncomfortable but trying to be nice. Oh, so your whole circle is just people pleasing.
Can you read that again, please?
I approached him again and told her that she could go because I could tell that she was visibly uncomfortable but trying to be nice.
So you can go.
She was dismissed.
Yeah.
Wow.
Should have done it to the guy. You can go. Should have dismissed him, not her.
Yep.
She literally just dismissed her friend group. Like,
Yeah, she did.
okay, you can go now. You remember that?
I don't care how much of a bitch it would make me.
Would you like me to get you a tissue?
It's not going to do anything. I keep inhaling and it's like that very thin film.
Oh, yeah.
Like when you stretch slime and you can kind of see through it. I feel like I'm suffocating in here.
A little alien behind your eyeballs is struggling to breathe.
We're panicking. If I was at a friend's party and the supposed soon-to-be groom approaches me and starts showing me affection like that, bro, I'm breaking your jaw. My friend can be mad at me all she wants. I don't care if I hurt his feelings. I don't care if I hurt his family's feelings. I am not an object that can just be touched whenever. That makes me spicy.
I can tell. It should. It should.
How did she, as the friend, not lose her mind? I would have walked out and seen that, and I would have caused a fucking scene. Especially if she's visibly uncomfortable. I would have ruined that whole damn party.
So we know that there was 24 people there on top of family members.
Right.
It's 12 of each.
Yeah.
And family, she said. And not a single person in that room said anything. They didn't say anything to him about the way he was acting. Didn't say anything to him about the kissing of the person's hand. Nobody stopped it from happening. Nobody got involved and protected either one of these women.
Mm-hmm.
I've done much worse with less.
Trailer park girls go around the outside.
Round the outside, round the outside. Hey.
I'm fucking real, man.
Okay. She walked away, and I looked at him, and he says he needs to get himself together. He mumbled the whole bunch of stuff under his breath, and I couldn't do it anymore, so I walked out.
Good.
He followed me out to the streets and was yelling a whole bunch of stuff. It was a very bad fight. He got kicked out of the bar because he was so drunk, and his friends were holding him back from not talking to me that way, and my friends were holding me back because I'm always the fixer. I would be so embarrassed. Oh my goodness.
How did it get to this point? Right?
Well, clearly there's alcohol involved.
I get that. I understand the alcohol
Right.
process. I spent a lot of time around alcoholics, and I drank a lot when I was younger. I just don't understand how you can be in a group with someone you love and allow them to be verbally attacked or groped. I would consider that groping. The kissing of that's super fucking inappropriate.
Yes.
The same 14th century Victorian time.
Right, but even if you were, that's a greeting, not a sexual advancement.
Right.
Which I view that as. They allowed it to get this far. Yeah. The bar continued to serve him even though he was drunk. Like, there's a whole lot of things that should not have allowed this to get to that point. Mm-hmm. If somebody that I loved was starting to get sloppy, I would pull them aside and be like, come on, bro, let's go
Relieve it.
we're going to get Waffle House. Like, let's redneck Denny's this shit.
Shit
let's
slaps right now.
Let's do
Some
some
cheese
shit
and
other than what
jalapenos
we're
on it.
currently doing because you're going to regret this tomorrow.
Yeah,
I got
absolutely.
you.
Yeah.
I'll buy. Like, but that, you know what I mean? There has to be somebody there that has a cognizance of, like, this is what we need to be doing.
Right.
Not, yeah, fucking world star.
Jerry. They're celebrating their engagement.
Yep.
They told me to walk away so he could breathe. I went up to his friends and said, "Are you going to take care of him? Because I'm not going to do that." They just said that they will deal with him and take care of him, and I said thank you when I walked away.
She still had her manners. That's nice.
Yeah. My friends walked me to my car, and I went home, threw up a couple times because I'm an emotional wreck, and when I get upset, I physically get sick, and I laid in bed all night. He didn't come home until 5 o'clock in the morning. He decided to go to this bar that he always goes to with his single friends, and because he thought we broke up that night, even though I never said that, he flirted with the bartender, went home to her house, and he said we went to her house, and when she wanted to cuddle on the bed, I laid there and felt sick to my stomach, so I called an Uber and left.
Lies. Every bit of that is a lie.
He fucked her.
Yes. And it's not because he thought you broke up with him, because he was trying to fuck your friend. Pay attention to what people are fucking saying. They don't have to say it.
Right. He explained the whole story, and I was in shock. I never in 1,000,000 years thought that he was the type of person to cheat. Really, even when he told you, I'm going to go take somebody home and fuck them in our house, you never thought that he was going to cheat on you? Because to me, that is still cheating because you did all of those things that led up to that moment, especially on our engagement night. What made it worse was that the woman knew that we were engaged, but that's besides the point. He did all of that night of our engagement and admitted to me days later after accusing me when he got home at 5 o'clock in the morning that I was home cheating on him and lied to my face saying that the neighbors had video footage that I was doing something dirty because he wanted me to admit something that I didn't do.
That's the definition of gaslighting per Google.
I got no advice for you. I'd leave.
Yeah, I would have.
I would not try to fix this. I would not try to make amends. I would not try to communicate. I don't want you to know how I feel. I don't want you having my phone number. We are parting ways. Good day, sir.
I said good day.
I said good day.
How did they even say how old they are in this email? Like, because this sounds like
35 and 30.
Bruh.
This sounds like early 20s shit.
Right. This sounds like 2021.
Sounds like the real world. I feel like we're watching MTV. And it's
Oh, yeah, like some
scripted.
Jersey Shore shit.
Yeah.
Scripted. It's the Ultimate Fighter. There's alcohol in every
room.
And we were there for 6 fucking weeks and finding it still.
Yeah.
But we couldn't read a book.
Watch TV.
Couldn't listen to the radio. All we could do was train and drink.
I just want to bang, bro. God.
Back into the email, and I said, okay, let's go over there and look at it. And he just looked at me like, no, we're not going to do that. I knew he was lying. I would never do such a thing. To make matters worse, the day after our engagement party was Mother's Day. And because of all of this, and because of what happened, he decided to break up with me on Mother's Day. We have a blended family of 3 boys. He decided to go on the boat and get drunk with his friends. From that moment on, trust was broken. Damn, so your guys' 3 boys watched their father figure completely subtract himself from Mother's Day.
That's where her upset is. He left me on Mother's Day.
No, but I'm pointing out that that is your example to your 3 sons. I don't expect a red carpet and a bunch of shit on Mother's Day, but I do expect some family time to be able to sit down and enjoy the day and watch movies or something, take a break from the day in and day out of business life.
Right. No, I get that. That's not what I was getting at. I'm not
Right.
downplaying a reason to celebrate your woman blessing you with a child. That's not what I'm getting at. But after everything that you just read, the antithesis, the fucking, oh my God, climactic moment of this entire email is that he left her on Mother's Day and that's what she's upset about? It shouldn't have fucking made it that far. Abuse is abuse.
It is.
And I don't give a fuck what anybody says. Once that line has been crossed, it will continue to be crossed. It may not be physical anymore, Because, well, he hasn't hit me in 5 years. Yeah, but how does he talk to you?
Right.
Right? Because once that in your head, if you believe that behavior is okay, and you truly believe they're going to leave, if you cross that line one more time, now you have to find a different way to control them or manipulate them to do what you want them to do. Because that is that type of behavior. Do I believe that people can completely change and that not be a thing? Maybe. But I think it's going to take a whole lot of fucking work. A lot of fucking work, because I think that your moral compass is skewed.
Right.
I don't know. I don't know.
Back into the email. I don't trust him at all. I second guess where he was actually going every day. I started accusing him of cheating on me every time he left the house because I was so insecure. I hated the feeling of a gut punch that I got when finding out the truth. Why live life like that?
Wait. Isn't this the same email that said that that his ex-wife cheated on him and that he had trust issues?
Right.
Okay.
He started going to therapy and it helped, but now the problem that we have is I'm trying to move forward after the cheating, but the main problem is the drinking and the drugs. If you want somebody sober, you need to date somebody sober. Mm-hmm. You being in their life is not going to be enough for them to stop drinking and stop doing the drugs. Nope. As much as you want to be the reason to be, you will never be.
So for those of you who didn't listen to the interview with Matt Bell, he said in that email that we could, we've met people on the street who are currently in addiction, and said that if I could get you off the street, put you in a house and get you sober, paid for, and all you have to do is come with me, would you do it? 98% of them say no. Because people are not going to get sober until they are ready to get sober.
Correct.
There has to be a catalyst. They have to hit rock bottom. Something in them has to change for them to want to do that. Getting sober for other people, I'm going to do it for my kids. I'm going to do it for my old man. No, you're not. No, you're fucking not, because you don't want it. No. You don't want to be sober. You're making an excuse. Mm-hmm. That's not how that sobriety works. So...
Not only do I not want that in my life because of my children, but because he's lied and hid it from me so many times, comes home at all hours of the night crazy as hell, accuses me of whatever he wants, and then his excuse is he's always fucked up everything in his life and will always be a fuck up. Fair, homie.
Yep.
Do that by yourself, because I am not that.
That's manipulation too.
And I am not going to settle for that. I am not going to live with that. I am not going to enable that. Go be miserable on your own, because you don't want to do anything about it. Fade away into the bushes. Fair warning, his own mother and all of his friends said that he's fucked up everything in his life as well. They even gave you warnings. You had a warning label slapped on this man before you even got with him, and you were like, fuck around and find out. His own mama. Not the one. How do you ignore that?
Well, I mean, mothers are not, that label of mother does not necessarily make you a good person.
Yeah.
Some of the most evil people I've met in my life have been mothers.
Right.
So
if Danielle pulled me aside and was like, hey, just so you know, I would take it into consideration.
Okay.
I've seen the character of that woman.
Let's be real for a minute and not play games.
Right.
In the event that I was fucking up, who do you think Danielle would pull aside?
I bet she'll lift him right off the fucking ground by
She
the
ain't
ear.
having that shit. The Mambo combo.
Mambo combo.
Ask her about that one.
Really?
All right, I'm going to put that in chat.
You don't have to. She'll catch it in a second and start talking. She's watching.
If you don't want to put it in the chat, text me.
Yeah. Yeah. Ask Amy about it. Ask JJ or Brandon.
That's funny.
Yep, that's the thing.
The past 3 months have been absolutely horrible. Constant drinking and constant drugs because he's been depressed, and when he drinks, he wants to do drugs, and it becomes a vicious cycle. I got nothing for you, and I'm going to be honest. At this point, I don't have a lot of sympathy for you. This situation really sucks. You are subjecting your children to this.
Yep, you choose to be there. And it's not just been one decision, it's been multiple.
It has been multiple. I'm going to overlook this one. I'm going to overlook that one. I am so broken and in needing of love and having a void filled within me, I'm willing to subject not just myself, but my children to abuse.
Yeah. I got nothing. This is not something that my answer to this is you don't need to be there.
So I'm going to skip forward to the last paragraph. So my question is there even a chance? No.
No.
I'm not reading past that.
All right. We've got 20 minutes to read super chats before we have to go live on Patreon. So the answer to this is not a safe situation for you or your kids. The situation isn't going to change and you should probably reevaluate your life.
Correct.
There's currently 1,776 views on this video.
Oh, wow.
Oh, it just went up. I got to see it before it did, though. All right, super chats. We got one from Blind Bat for $4.99 that says, hope y'all had a wonderful Thanksgiving week. We missed y'all. We had a fucking phenomenal Thanksgiving week. And we'll talk about that on our Patreon Live a little bit, I think. Would you like to read these or would you like me to do it, Dragon Lady?
You can do it.
All
I
right.
need a...
Darcinderin said, having a rough couple weeks. Thank you for being a light in the darkness. Well,
Thank you for still being here.
sorry that the fucking emails tonight were a dumpster fire. I apologize for that one, but I hope that you're at least enjoying yourself. Or maybe you can go, hey, my life isn't that. And it's the light in the darkness. Peyton Arendt said, I greatly appreciate everything that y'all are doing. You're welcome. Nicole said, joining the Patreon is going to be my Christmas gift to myself. Thank you both so much for inspiring me to go find God, go sober, go back to school, and most importantly, inspiring us to be better. I love that. Lorraine said, you have had me engaged this long, and that speaks volumes. Have the money guy on a podcast, perhaps. Just a suggestion to be better forever. Electric Forest tickets go on sale this week. Stoked. Much respect. You know, I never even thought to reach out to Justin to see if he would do our podcast. That might need to be a conversation. I may have to text him tonight. Well, it's late. I may have to ask him to do that. I don't know.
Good to have him on here.
It would.
Absolutely.
Janelle said, I have never had a good birthday. I'm glad I came to church with my fellow misfits and enjoy time with people who are absolutely amazing and changing my life. Thank you. We really need to find a way to get listed as a religious organization to not have to pay taxes.
Word.
Hoon SPG for $9.99. I recognize this dude because of the Christmas tree back he has.
Yep.
I took the financial advice you gave me last time I sent a super chat. I just moved from Northern Ohio to Sarasota yesterday and was only able to do so because of the tools you gave me. Thank you.
That's what's up.
Where in Sarasota did you move to? Because I like Sarasota.
Yeah, man.
You may see us one day walking around the mall or in Cinna Bistro or illegally riding dirt bikes. And then we got a welcome to early access from Cassandra Stuckey.
Welcome.
Let's do a little bit of bullshit and then
Q&A.
we'll wrap it up. We've got about 10 minutes to kill. So
Oh, somebody on TikTok said that they saw a video about soft girl culture and it made them think of me.
What's that?
Soft girl culture was something that I actually wanted to talk about.
I don't know what that is.
Soft girl culture is the anti-feminist movement. And it is becoming a thing because there are people out there right now who are going, why did feminists want to put us in the workforce? I don't want to work. I want to stay home and take baths and be with my kids.
And grow plants.
Right.
And have chickens.
Right.
And do an apothecary and paint.
And all the things that they were doing before feminism made you go back to work.
I love my life.
Yeah.
The things that I got called a slave and a gender traitor. My people are coming forward. You cannot stop us.
Yeah. It's crazy to me to think that there has to be a movement for people to just be happy and live the life that they want to live.
Wasn't that the point of feminism?
Because everybody's doing it, bro.
Right. The problem with feminism, though, is the movement got hijacked.
It did.
Right?
Yeah.
And it became something more than what it was supposed to be.
Yeah.
A woman's right to do the things that make her happy. So if they want to work, go to work. The problem is the more people that get into the workforce means that the government gets more tax dollars.
Yep.
What do you think is going to happen when the government starts getting involved in anything? You get the big dick of government shoved right up your fucking ass and there's nothing that you can do about it. So enjoy that.
1984.
They don't even have the common courtesy to spit on it but first or give you the reach around. So
There's no time.
well, no, because they're too busy fucking everyone. So
No, there's no the movie reference. There's no time for lube.
There's always time for lube. Yeah. I hate all of it.
I'm reading some of this and I'm disgusted.
I love
This is a thing.
right.
Cozy cardio?
Yes, cozy cardio.
It's crazy to think that there has to be a movement to get people to be happy.
Hasn't that been the main purpose or the starting point of any movement ever, though?
No, but I think that I hate this. I love that they are starting to stand up for this, but I hate that they're calling it a soft girl movement, because what's happening is they've now given a new label to traditional wives. So if you are a traditional wife, you can't use that label or you get shunned. But if you say I'm part of the soft girl movement, you get applauded. It's the
Right.
same fucking thing. They've given it another label so that they can continue to trash traditional wives and to have that negative stigma on what you do in life while saying they want the same thing, but it's got a fancy label, so it's okay.
Right.
We got some more super chats.
Neato Dito.
I'll read these and then we'll wrap it up. DeFugel. Me and my fiance just got pregnant, but she is refusing to commit to moving in with me for the baby. What should I do and how do I approach? Find out why.
How long are... Okay, that's a lot. Was this like a one-night stand? Have you guys been together for 2 or 3 years?
Well, it said fiance, so
Oh, they're engaged?
you're engaged to be married, but she's not willing to live with you.
Yeah, there's a really big why.
Yeah. Moving in with you because of the baby shouldn't have been the answer, though.
Right. If you were like, hey, move in because we're pregnant, that's not a reason to move in together. Tell me you want me there. Tell me that you want to spend all of your time with me and you hate it when I'm not in the same bed as you.
Right. I do, though.
You do what?
Hate it when you're not in the same bed.
I know, that's actually what you said to me when you asked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just putting it out there for everyone, huh?
You're like, I hate it when you're not here.
I
and
do
miss
hate
you."
it when you're not here. I do. I fucking do. Cerulean Firefly said, I won't be able to super chat much for a while. Time for some hard budgeting, but sending love and a massive thank you as always. And then Maria Hauser joined with early access. And Kim said, Peaches, Janessa is very sick right now. She's been battling high fever and she's watching right now with me. Can you tell her hi? It would make her day.
Hello, Janessa. I am sorry that you're not feeling well, and I hope that you are able to sweat that fever out tonight.
Yeah. I hope you feel better too. Not that, you're speaking to me, but
So DeFugel super chat, they've been
2 years.
Yep, okay. We saw it. Good.
She won't move because she is afraid to leave her family. Then how are you going to marry her? How does that work? Because when you get married, you're not joining their family, you're creating your own. And now you've impregnated somebody who is afraid to leave their family. There's a reason for that. Like,
Yeah, there's a control thing there.
there's a lot there.
Yeah.
I'm just trying my best to be a present fiance and partner. I'm being present and doing my best, but her only reasons for not moving in has ever been because she's got medical appointments.
What? Hang on. I need to read. Where is that? Oh, there it is. I'm just trying my best. Be present, fiance, and partner. I'm being present and doing my best, but her only reasons for not moving in was only ever been because she got medical. She would have said that to me. I've been like, what did you just say? Like, come again one more time?
Sorry.
Like, elaborate on that. What do you mean you can't move in because you have doctor appointments?
Right.
Sorry, I've got something crazy in my ear.
Right. Like, explain it in a different way and see if that we can both understand what's happening right now.
Sabrina said, can't wait to send y'all something after 12/19.
Ooh, what is it going to be?
I would like to, well, we'll talk about that in the Discord, the Patreon. Somebody asked, is it weird if two people get engaged and been engaged for over a decade with a kid but never married? Yes, that's fucking weird. That is a placeholder ring.
Yep.
There is a deeper concern there as to why that person has never actually gone through with your wedding, And there's serious questions that need to be had there.
Yeah, it would not have gone on for a decade.
Yeah.
If the planning didn't start happening within 1 year after the engagement, what are we doing?
Will somebody reach out to Yvonne about the Patreon? I apparently can't get into Discord. I don't know. Julia said, girl, your hair looks great, feathered out and straight. Chris, your hair looks great too. You're doing God's work out there. Thank you, folks. You haven't even seen my hair. You think that this is impressive? You should see my back.
Unacceptable.
I knew it. I fell for it anyways.
It's funny. Jordan, thank you for being you. Enjoyed getting to catch a live again.
Thank you for being here, Jordan.
Everybody give Jordan some healing prayers and thoughts. He broke his ankle.
Oh, man.
Chris Dennison, 1999. Waited until after the email, but yes, I'm one and the same, and I'm stoked for you guys to get the packages. I am fucking stoked for it, too. I love patinaed, rough, worn leather, and I like money clips, so I'm very excited for this package to come in the mail. So... Well, I think that was a good way to end it with some hairy back joke. We are going to wrap this up, and in about 13 minutes, we're going to go live on Patreon.
And what are we doing there?
We're going to just hang out and read some Patreon emails that are not dumpster fires. So
Okay.
I think that's how we're going to wrap it up. With that being said, guys, this has been fun.
Thank you for being here.
Yeah, we will see you on the next one.
Bye, guys.
Alfredo!